with your hosts, Nico and Ellen Haan. Now, Nico and Ellen Haan.
Hey, good morning. This is Nico Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms, good morning. I'm Ellen Haan.
It's a beautiful day in downtown St. Petersburg. It's very foggy, 100% humidity, 66. It's always a beautiful day, honey.
That's right.
That's right. And I'd like to remind you the two things that we have going on here is the Primal Edge, and during the COVID time, this is really, really important. It's important every time, as you'll find out in the show, but this has over 310 organic cell-ready liquid ingredients, and it's all powered by fulvic and humic acid. Look that up, folks, because that's really important. It gets the good stuff in.
And it tells the cells to let the bad stuff out.
You got that right. And, of course, we have our Health Signals newsletter. This one is talking about the stuff we talked about 2 weeks ago. So this follows the show. So all the articles that we talk about are in here, so you can make up your own mind. Number here is 877-927-6648. And
if anybody's up out there, give us a call.
Well, there's a lot of things happening in Tampa Bay, of course. We have the World Championship, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We have the
Super Bowl champ.
Yeah, that was a great game, and definitely one of the best quarterbacks ever, I think.
Oh, yeah, well.
Kind of a flawless game for him, and the defense just really stepped up. So one of the few games I watched this year, but
in the last 10 years.
Yeah, in fact, we were alone. You were down south in Fort Myers area.
Well, Lehigh Acres.
Yeah, Lehigh Acres.
Yeah.
And I was home alone, and that's what Fauci said. So I guess we were doing the right thing. And the other thing, of course, the Lightning are doing great, too. They haven't stopped from their championship run, and now they have the longest winning streak also, and that's really cool, too.
Yeah, so. And the Rays went to the World Series. So,
that's right.
So now people have dubbed us Champa Bay.
Champa Bay, I like it. Okay. Well, today we want to talk about the secret to the long and healthy life. And this is
of course, it won't be a secret anymore once we tell.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully everybody knows this.
Yeah,
but there's an interesting article here that is named just about that in the title. It gives you kind of a clue: eat less. And it starts off saying that in a restaurant setting sometime in the not-too-distant future, a man and a woman are on their first date. I guess this is after COVID.
This is a little, right. Scenario.
Yeah, and he says the man is 33. He's been single through most of these years, although he didn't mention it. He knows he's looking to settle down and have a family. The woman replies she's 52 and has been married, divorced, has children in their early 20s. He had no idea. She looked his age or younger than him. So what's the secret here? It sounds far-fetched, but our society has already made great strides towards that goal of living longer.
Well, the goal is biological age can be set to a different timer.
Yeah.
And that's the premise of this whole thing.
Yeah. They said in 2014, for instance, the United States Health Interview Survey spotted 16% of the people aged between 50 and 74 were impaired every day with chronic illness. Now, 3 decades earlier, that number was 23%. In other words, as well as benefit from longer lifespan, we're also experiencing longer health spans, which is probably the more important thing to me. Because so what do we need to do to enhance the length and the quality of our life? Well, researchers have been talking about this a long time, and of course we have been doing this also. And calorie restrictions, which is what the article is about, goes much farther than just cutting down on the fatty foods and the foods that make a gradual impact on a negative way on you.
Traditional calorie counting.
Yeah, that type of thing. So the way we kind of did it when we went paleo about 13 or 14 years ago, we pretty much cut out all the cereal grains, all the baked goods. And that was really one of our first steps, and we noticed definitely we were feeling better. We noticed that we weren't getting hungry as often, and it wasn't that hard to do.
Right.
We said we'd give it 2 weeks, and here we are. We're still doing it. Then about 3 years ago, we started eliminating even more because of the science of the calorie restrictions. We felt it was important to make smaller portions, and we talked it over a little bit, and we decided that the stuff that we really didn't need was what we wanted to get rid of, and we wanted to concentrate on nutrients density.
Yeah, nutrient-dense foods. And I think what happened for us was we discovered that as we were eating the organic and grass-fed meats and free-range meats, that we were full on a much smaller portion, that we couldn't finish what we were.
Well, actually, what we did was start, we always ate the protein first because we felt that was really important not to impact our sugar, because we were making the transition in the beginning. By eating all that nutrient-dense stuff, then the vegetables half the time were just being thrown out.
Well, we didn't, there was too much food.
Yeah.
And we ended up with leftovers on every single thing we cooked.
Yeah.
And so we realized that we didn't need, we started out with 2 pork chops each.
Right.
And then we found once we switched over to the paleo meats, that we couldn't eat 2 pork chops, and sometimes, depending on how thick the pork chop is, we can't even eat 1 pork chop, and we have leftovers, which we eat another night. But it's it's a matter of feeling completely satisfied and not hungry.
Yeah.
And but also not feeling stuffed, which is, I don't like that feeling of feeling stuffed.
Right. And so we started eliminating the vegetables pretty much entirely, except for seasoning and spicing and things like that.
And occasionally a seasonal vegetable.
Yeah, occasionally. So our portions really went down drastically. And the other thing that we did about 2 years ago was eliminate lunch. So we're eating.
It was like we just stopped eating lunch because we weren't hungry.
Right. It was kind of a natural transition.
I didn't think about it. I just wasn't hungry and didn't eat and was fine until dinner, you know. And
so basically we eat a breakfast, and I eat it usually about 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, and then about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon we have our dinner. And seem to be no problems, and we certainly feel good. We're not hungry all the time, and that's really the key to this whole thing.
Well, the other thing is that if we have a little change in schedule for going out to dinner or something, or it's for some reason, and we do that occasionally. It doesn't matter if you're not eating at 4:30, 5 o'clock, whatever, because we're not hungry.
Right.
And that's the beauty of the paleo diet, is that it eliminates that addiction and the crashing and the feeling of desperation because you need to eat.
And that was the real liberating thing for me, was the desperation was all gone from food. And I had that all my life, and I had problems with my stomach all my life. So this really helped me a lot. Now, this didn't just come about recently, as it did for us, but back in the old days, and I'm talking about in ancient Greek, some of the first physicians, Hippocrates, was claimed that diseases were natural and not supernatural. And he observed that many of the ailments were associated with gluttony. Obese Greeks tend to die younger than the slim ones. And this was clearly written down on the paper.
On papyrus.
On the papyrus. So when we get back, we'll go into that. We'll be right back, folks.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
So Hippocrates in ancient Greece drew a link between obesity and illness. And then in the 15th century, that kind of spread out slowly as a concept. Mm-hmm. The 15th century, Alvisi Cornero, who was an infirm aristocrat in a small village near Venice in Italy. And he said he didn't feel well. He was 40 years old, and he was not doing so well. So he thought, well, what if I restrict my calories and change my diet? And he did, and it is believed that he lived to be about 84 years old, which, of course, in those days was extreme.
Yeah, and what he was doing was kind of extreme because he was doing about 12 ounces of food and about 1,000 calories a day, and that was quite a restriction for him. And what he found...
he ate bread, panatella, or broth, and eggs. And then for meat, he chose veal, goat, beef, partridge, thrush, and any poultry that was available. And then he bought local caught fish. That's
a nice variety of food.
Yeah, and then that was the point. He restricted the amount but not the variety, so he was satisfied. Now, he said he achieved perfect health. Well, now, of course, yeah. It's, and that's one person. But it's kind of interesting to see. The whole point of this article is talking about caloric restrictions.
Right.
And meaning eating less.
Right.
And how it has a positive impact on not only your health, but on longevity as well.
Well, I always like to look back in nature and see what the animals are doing. And we know that animals have a restricted diet just because food is not available all the time. Hunting may not be good that day. And even with omnivores, anybody that's eating just grass in the wintertime, it gets very restrictive, and you're still out there and you're digging for it. You can see the deer pawing for little bits of lichens and things like that. They're not out there gorging themselves, and they may do that in the springtime, maybe when they need more calories because the birthing season is coming about.
Or it's coming on winter and they need to build up a layer of fat.
Yeah, which the bears do and other animals too. But there have been significant trials, and in 1935 they did calorie restrictions between 30 and 50% on white rats, delaying death from age-related disorders and disease. And of course you may be asking, if it works for a rat, does it work for us? Well, maybe not. But long-term trials followed humans from early adult death is a rarity. So that's
well,
really hard to do.
Well, the point is, it's very hard to enroll somebody in a study when they're born and then follow them through life and see what they do and how it works.
Yeah.
But they do say that if you start looking at, even if you start with humans who are 40 or 50 years old, you could get a good 40-year study out of it, and they're saying, and plus you add, another reason why it's difficult to do the studies is you have other things like level of exercise and whether they smoke and whether they drink alcohol and kind of how they eat. And there are a lot of things, and genetics. And so there are things that do affect longevity, which are not having to do with how many calories you eat.
Yeah. There was one study done on rhesus monkeys, and this was really for about 20 years. And they're easy to control. They're fed with specially made biscuits. The diets of 76 monkeys at the University of Wisconsin and 121 at NIA were tailored to their age, weight, and their natural appetite. All monkeys received the full complement of nutrition and minerals that their bodies crave. It's just that half of the monkeys, the calorie was restricted 30% or less.
No, they ate 30% less.
Ate 30% less. And this is far from being malnourished or starving, they say.
Well, then they ended up with one of the monkeys who is 43 years old, which is unbelievable because normally they don't live, 20 is about the average.
Yeah, so this was
for
over
rhesus
doubling.
Monkeys. Yeah, and they said he seemed, and as the younger monkeys were developing diseases and dying, he seemed to be immune to aging. And even into his 30s, he would have been considered an old monkey, but he didn't look or act like one. And, apes, we share so much of our DNA with apes, with primates. And the question is, what's the relevance of this study for humans? And I think that the point is aging can be manipulated in primates, and it's conceptually very important because that means that aging itself is a reasonable target for clinical intervention and medical treatment. And
it says here, too, eating less certainly seemed to help the monkeys, but calorie restrictions is much tougher for people out in the real world. For one, our access to regular high-calorie meal is now easier than ever with companies, and they mention about a bunch of different companies you can
with
walk.
making deliveries, just call and you get your food delivered to your door.
Yeah.
You don't even have to walk to the restaurant. They say walk to the restaurant. How many people actually walk to a restaurant these days? Even if it's in your neighborhood, you get in the car and you drive over. We go to dinner once a week and get our sushi.
And it's only a mile and a half away.
No, 7/10.
Oh, is it 7/10?
It's 7/10 of a mile.
So we could certainly do that.
We could walk, right?
It's not really in our DNA to be walking, and if we were maybe out in the country, that would be more of a thing to do, but maybe the restaurant would be farther, who knows.
And then some people gain more weight than others, even eating the same diet. It's just, that's part of the issue.
Yeah.
So
ideally, the amount and types of food we eat should be tailored to who we are, our genetic predisposition to gain weight, and how we metabolize sugars, and how we store fat, and other physiological fluxes are beyond the scope of scientific instruction at the moment, and they say perhaps forever. But a predisposition to obesity can be used as a guide to life choices rather than an inevitability.
And saying, well, everybody in my family was fat, and what can I do? And so I eat.
Yeah, and if you look at the general population, over half of the population seems to be overweight at least, and maybe 30-40% obese too.
And this whole lockdown thing didn't help matters any because that refrigerator's calling to you all day long.
Yeah, but I do see people in the neighborhood walking. Maybe it's the same people who always walk, but most...
Definitely an increase in people outside, bicycle, walking, taking the baby out in the stroller. The whole family is out there walking. The neighbors are walking, walking the dogs and so on. And so I think there are certainly people who took advantage of the time, the downtime, and not having to drive a couple hours in the car during a day. And
so some of the benefits published in 2015 after 2 years of a very positive test in the blood of calorie-restricted people, the ratio of the good cholesterol to bad cholesterol has increased. Molecules associated with tumor formation called tumor necrosis factors, TNFs, were reduced by 25%. And levels of insulin restriction... resistance, is a sure sign of diabetes fell by about 40% compared to the people who ate a normal diet.
And blood pressure was lower.
Yeah, so those were scientific studies that were done on people after 2 years of these monkey trials.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. They talk about, you know, you restrict your calories so there's weight loss. Mm-hmm. Now, the weight loss is clearly connected to all of these reductions in the negative markers and the health, and there are health benefits, obviously, to losing some weight.
And we're assuming, of course, that the person is eating nutritious meals.
Well, that's what we need to talk about after the break.
So stick around, folks. We got a lot more. Pick up some Primal Edge, pick up the Health Signals newsletter, and you'll be all set to go. We'll be right back.
You've heard Nico de Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
So this article that we're reading from The Secret to a Long and Healthy Life, Eat Less, asks a few important questions. With less food, is the metabolism forced to be more efficient with what it has? Is there a common molecular switch regulating aging that is turned on or off with fewer calories? Or is there yet an unknown mechanism underspinning the lives and the deaths?
Underpinning,
yes. Underspinning in my brain, that's for sure. The importance of monkeys like Sherman far outspend their lives. This becomes a really important question now.
Yeah.
Can we do this?
And calorie restriction may be one of the most promising avenues for improving health and how long it lasts in our lives.
Yeah, it's a worthwhile undertaking. Understanding how calorie restriction works and other treatments could be used to target that specific part of biology. Aging can be treated directly, and that is without the need of calorie restrictions. Is that possible? I don't think so. I think calorie restrictions is the real key here.
I have a feeling that's a typo because it should say aging can be treated directly with calorie restrictions as one of the tools in your toolbox.
Yeah.
And it says even though the studies are not able to pinpoint exactly what's working and why it's working, the calorie restriction is one of the most promising avenues for improving health and how long that health lasts throughout our lives. And then they say that according to the trials that are going on, that caloric restriction seems to work. And then unlike drug-based treatments, I mean, you listen to the commercials for the drugs, and you get a 12-minute listing of the,
That's for sure,
watch out for these side effects, and they're all technically and potentially hazardous to your health. This doesn't come with a long list of potential side effects.
No, it says here.
People are not hungrier, mood was fine, sexual function was fine, and we looked pretty hard for bad things and didn't find them, they said. And that made me start thinking about, okay, so if we're limiting calories, is that one of the things that you have the opportunity to do is focus on what you are eating.
Right.
Now, if you're not running for fast food, if you're not eating pizzas every night, if you're not eating, generally food that is high calorie, low nutrient dense, and if you're bound to have some health benefits.
Well, I know people that eat pizza and go to fast food a lot, and what happens to them later in life when they're our age is what really, really counts, because that's when you see the shift. You see the shift between 50 and 70, and if you're eating really dense, nutrient-dense products, and they're really good for you. In other words, they're not tainted with pesticides or other chemicals and things like that. Yeah. Then you see a huge difference. You don't see it at 30. And at 30, you're going to Taco Bell or whatever, you don't notice the difference. But at 50, between 50 and 70, I think that's where really the difference is.
And too many people that you come in contact with, as soon as they hit around, they go to 50, they go, oh my God, it's my 50th birthday, I'm so old. And so they have the mental attitude of being old, and they begin to have aches and pains because everything catches up with you eventually. It's a cumulative effect of what you eat, and everything it catches up with them. Their joints start aching. They just attribute it to old age, and they don't stop and think, is there something I can do?
Right. Now we have a caller on the line, Tom from Tampa, and let's see what Tom has to say. Hey, Tom, you out there?
Hey, Nico, how you doing?
Hey, good. Nice to talk to you again. What's going on?
Great Super Bowl, huh?
Oh, yeah. Pretty magical.
I mean, Brady, man, I was reading about his nutritionist. We might have talked about this a couple of years ago. They were saying that, he's on the sidelines. I mean, the guy goes everywhere with him. They said when he was out in New England, it'd be to the point it would drive Belichick crazy sometimes. But I was wanting to take a look at this supplement, Nico. It's called colostrum. Are you familiar with it? C-O-L-O?
No, I'm not. Tell me about it.
Apparently it comes from the breast milk of a cow.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the stuff that is initially excreted after a birth, and that's why the infants need to get the colostrum, and so that they can. It contains the initial immunities, and it boosts the system. And
this is why breastfeeding is so important, because initially this is what they get. So that would make
colostrum,
sense. Yeah, I'll look that up, and that could be something that would help your system for sure.
Yeah, one other quick thing, Nico. Eye lubricant. I noticed in the newsletter back about 5 or 6 months ago, you had something there about the eye lubricant. Do you use much eye lubricant?
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
No. But when the eyes get dry, you do need something in there. So sometimes I use a little saline or something like that.
Yeah,
but I wear contacts too, so I'm pretty careful with my eyes. But that sounds like you need to do that if your eyes
dry eyes can be a problem.
Yeah.
So it's good to address if you have that.
Hey, great to hear from you.
Hey, same here. Okay, guys.
Take
care,
man.
To you.
Bye, Tom.
So this next article that we're going to is a tale of two COVIDs, and this is animal-based versus vegetarian terrain.
Yeah, and when they say tale of two COVIDs, they mean two people who got COVID.
Yes, and this is
response.
This is by Kelly Herring. She's from the Grassland Beef Company, U.S. Wellness Meats, where we get some of our meats. She says, I recently received news from two friends who became sick and tested positive for COVID after spending the weekend together at the same house. And this tells the story of how these two people did. One friend wrote, I feel miserable. My whole body is sore. I can hardly get out of bed. I've never felt this sick. Thankfully, she recovered in about a week of severe, although not life-threatening, flu symptoms and another week of rest. Now, the other friend sent an email describing his symptoms. I felt lung irritation, low energy the first day, mild headache, and low grade the next day. On the third day, I woke up rested, feeling about 95% back to normal.
Now, what she does point out is that both friends were in good physical condition. They were young, and so then she was wondering, but one lived in Southern California and gets sun every day, and the other lived in a cold, snowy climate.
Now, there were several other people also in the house that weekend who did not become sick at all. So assuming that they were all exposed to the same pathogen, is there something that could explain the severe symptoms of one person while experiencing a mild case in some people who didn't get sick at all?
Right.
It turns out it's a very plausible explanation backed by more than a century of hard science. So what this is...
The person who recovered quickly and was young and got sun every day in Southern California eats a diet consisting almost entirely of meat. And the person who became very ill was also young and in great physical condition, but lives in a cold, snowy climate. Her vitamin D status was compromised, and she consumes a vegetarian diet.
Or vegan diet, almost.
Bordering on vegan.
Yeah. Is it possible that these differences in their diet and lifestyle could explain why they were affected so differently by what appears to be the same illness?
Right. And so then she looks further into that and why your individual terrain, your interior terrain, how do we get sick?
Yeah, and of course the germ theory of disease was popularized by Louis Pasteur, and he was around, of course, in the late 1800s. So let's go into this a little bit and find out why this happened. We'll be right back, folks.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
So Louis Pasteur had a theory of disease, and he said that disease is caused by microbes entering the body and making it sick. And he kind of postulated a human body that was completely sterile and free of any kind of germs, and there was no bacteria, and then what we had to do was keep that nasty stuff out of our bodies. But in fact, our bodies are full of bacteria, and it's how we digest our food and how we kill the cells that we don't want, and it's all the antibodies are part of that biome as well.
The unfortunate part is that theory that Pasteur passed along is still used in modern medicine. You know, modern medicine is you use antibiotics and you use this to get rid of the germ that entered your body.
And it kills the good stuff as well.
Exactly. So germ theory was partly shaped by Pasteur's flawed idea that the inside of the human body is sterile, just like you said. So the other interesting thing is he had a couple of buddies that were around.
Well, at the same time, they call that the terrain theory instead of the germ theory. And it was a fellow named Claude Bernard and then Antoine Béchamp. Then they postulated that it's not the germ that causes the disease, it's the ability of our internal structure to fight off the disease.
And we now know today that theory is true. That the terrain theory is the second one is true. And by changing that terrain, we get our body to come to stasis very easily.
Homeostasis,
so we'll feel bad, but the body can take over. There's certainly some little things that you could take as far as herbs and things like that to make you feel better. Chicken soup is one of those things. Also, having somebody there touching you and saying, come on, you're going to be fine, very, very important types of things. And this is all still part of the terrain, because when you're touching somebody and you're loving somebody, you're passing a lot of information over.
Yeah, the electrical energy transfers, and it helps bolster you. It's directly, the immune system is the bottom line. Building up your immune system and trying to so that you can fight off what comes in, or you can change it. You can make it and get back to health and homeostasis.
When our gut bugs are in a healthy balance, they produce a myriad of immune-boosting substances that prevent microbial infections and ward off chronic disease.
Yeah, and it's
through sound nutrition and avoiding the toxins, of course. And this is why we're always stressing, the grass-fed beef. We're saying if you're eating vegetables and things like that, they have to be organic. They have to be grown in good soil.
And seasonal.
And seasonal, very important, because this brings in the microbes at the right time, the right microbes at the right time. So it is your health of your own terrain that protects you or puts you at the risk of disease. So think about that if you're going to McDonald's or eating a pizza. The nutrition is very, very low, even if it's a homemade thing, because there's not a lot of nutrition in baked goods. And with the pizza dough is the problems. Tomato sauce might be okay.
Except it's a nightshade, and some people have sensitivity to it.
Yeah, there's a considerable evidence that animal-based diet is the key to a strong, resilient, and robust immune system, as well as evidence that a plant-only diet can leave you deficient in critical nutrients that negatively impact your terrain and therefore your immune health.
Yeah, and it's there was a recent study in the journal Epidemiology that analyzed a group of women who were either vegetarians or omnivores. They evaluated the women's blood to see how efficiently their bodies made two types of lymphocytes, which are the white blood cells that are important to the immune system, the T cells and the B cells. They also looked at how effectively these immune cells could attack and engulf foreign invaders, which is known as phagocytosis. Right. We don't need the fancy word, but it was very interesting. They found some significant differences.
Yeah, and all vegetarians showed decreased respiratory burst of these cells compared to the omnivores.
They also found lower white blood cell counts with the vegetarians.
Yeah. And the older vegetarians in the group exhibited significantly suppressed prolific response to the...
Proliferative response.
Thank you, baby. This refers to the ability to rapidly produce T cells in quantities sufficient to squelch the microbial
threat, right? Yeah. That's right. So the T cell, with the vegetarian, a strictly vegetarian diet, if you're on a vegetarian diet, you really need to be looking at balance and finding ways to boost your system.
Well, we were watching a program last night, one of our YouTube channel people that we watch, and it's Nicole and Jake out in Vancouver
off the grid.
Island. Yeah, they're living off the grid, and they're now just getting ready to make their new gardens. And they're mostly vegetarian. I think they do eat a couple of other things.
They might eat some fish and shellfish.
Yeah, something like that. But what they were doing, they were talking about how excited they were to get the new garden growing, and then they were going to dry these, and they were going to ferment them, and they were going to make them sour, and they were going to do lots of things to them. And the real importance of this, because they know that if they are eating these vegetables just right off the cuff like that, either raw or even cooked, it's not going to have the same impact if you start changing them so they become easier to digest and have the right kind of chemicals in them, the right kind of
nutrients.
Exactly. This releases the nutrients. And there's lots of stories about native people who are eating a certain way, and then you get the people from Europe that come in and they start eating that, but they do it a little bit differently. They don't really realize how the maize was made in Mexico and in America, and how they fermented it with the ash and released the niacin. And this is a powerful story because the Spaniards brought back the maize, and everybody in Europe started getting sick, and nobody really knew why. It's because the niacin was never released in the maize, and the only way you could release it. And somehow our ancestors figured this out, that if you ferment it alongside...
Well, they bury it in ashes.
And let it ferment. It changes it and...
chemistry of it.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting thing.
It all boils down to boosting your immune system and enabling your body to fight things off without needing or without going to external sources for like antibiotics.
And it's always been really interesting to me to look at history and look at some of the native people who are still, riding the plains in like Kazakhstan or some of those, maybe the Levant area, and they're still producing some of those ancient grains, or they're still living only on yak milk, and they're fermenting it, and they're doing all kinds of things. So they have 64 ways of making cheese and milk. There's reasons they did this, because they survived, and it was passed down by saying, hey, this is something that we need to do. It's fascinating how the ancient people all knew this, and today it's seemingly forgotten. Well, not completely forgotten, because we're bringing it to you.
Yeah, it's really a complicated but simple process. It's a matter of understanding your body.
Well, we have the ancient knowledge is lost because we segregate everything here in our modern society. The old people are no longer telling the young people what's going on. It's a sad situation.
And that's been going on for quite a number of years, certainly our lifetime.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So stick around, folks. We got a little more.
back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archived workshops that will take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
So this next article deals with how to strengthen your immune system this winter, and it really talks about strengthening the immune system through nutrition. Don't have a poor diet. Eating well, of course, supports that.
There's so much more to it as well, and we've talked about this the last few weeks, is getting a good night's sleep,
Yep.
the quality of your sleep, darken the room, and have your schedule, and look for your body rhythms, and reducing stress,
Yeah.
and being mindful of when you're feeling stressed and you're feeling overwhelmed, and taking steps to deal with it. I've been having a very busy few days and couple weeks, and I got all stressed out about some things, and we talked about it, and I looked at it objectively and sorted out my schedule, changed some appointments so that I'm not overwhelmed with it, and there's things you have to do to take care of yourself, and things. Yes, we talk about exercising regularly, but just moving, not staying in the seat for 2 hours at a time. Get up from the computer, or if you're at the computer, just walk around a little bit. Go get a glass of water. Go get
Today, if you're working and doing things like that, you need to schedule in some of the movement because you may be at home and you're in front of that computer a lot more. Set a timer. You need to learn how to deal with stress. Stress-relieving activities will keep you calm. This can be as easy as moving. It can be as easy as doing a little meditation. You can do little things like take a hot bath or take a cold shower. All these things work.
Find a cup of tea,
Shake it up a little.
A type of tea that tastes good to you and it makes you feel good. It might be or no caffeine, might be caffeine. green tea is my go-to if I'm feeling any kind of stress and a need to boost, or I'll drink peppermint tea to help me relax.
Yeah.
I'll put a little honey in it. Whatever you need to do to pull yourself together and give yourself a break. And I think that's part of it as well. Don't pressure yourself so much.
Yeah, and maybe do some of the routines that make you feel good. I've been doing some of the breathing exercises from Wim Hof, been taking my saunas. So all these things help, and you may have something different that you're doing. Stick to it, folks.
Yeah,
you can be healthy.
And be mindful of what you're eating.
Yeah.
Be well.
Bye-bye.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors. If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the Newsletter tab. Sign up today.
This is TFNN, the Tiger Financial News Network. TFNN Headline News Update. TFNN Headline News Update.
Welcome, folks. We had the Dow Industrials finish up 236. You had the Nasdaq up 131. S&P's up 28. They ran this right into the close, folks. Started in the composite, was on the air. The composite started moving. Bottom line, you had a gain of 0.95% in the composite, 0.5% in the S&P, and 0.7% in the Dow Industrials. Gold contract traded up $18.50, $18.31 an ounce. Silver up 41 cents, $27.43 an ounce. Now, both gold and silver, they both got a bid out here today. Oil's been getting a bid for a long period of time, folks. Bottom line, oil market is up an additional $1.14 today, $57.99 a barrel. That baby is going into the $60 to $65 level. Big number, man, no doubt. Notes and bonds out here today, they both rejected lower price. We had the 10-year trade out flat, 136.20. The 30-year was actually down 16 ticks. Now it's up 6 ticks. The 30-year was getting close to 2%, folks. And as the 30-year got close to 2%, buyers came in that market and they started buying it up in a big way. So you rejected lower price. As you got to that, we got to, I believe, 1.996. Let me get that number. So the 10-year right now is trading at 1.169, and the 30-year got to 1.996, closed at 1.954. The closest to that 2% was enough that a huge amount of buyers came in that market. Now, that is also giving me a heads up on the S&P that we're very close to turning, meaning pulling back. Dow Industrials, King Dollar down 87 ticks. Now, King Dollar had given up on price on Friday, was up 100 ticks this morning, gave it up, really got a sideways move. Looks to me, though, King Dollar's now going to make its way down to that 89 mark, and we're at 90.956. We get over and we take a look at the volumes. Bottom line is that you're at higher price, and they keep contracting. It's hard to comprehend that they even contract this much. This is the 6th day in a row that they contracted. 953 inside the NYSE. No, sorry. That being said, not in the composite. The composite has force. NASDAQ composite has force. Have a great one, folks. Have a safe one. Come back and visit us tomorrow morning. Tell your friends about TFNN. Please tell them to go to YouTube and subscribe. Look at them, folks.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates to my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
Larry Pesavento watches the markets 24/7, and now is a great time to try out his daily trading service, Fibonacci 24/7. Larry publishes videos and charts for subscribers throughout the week when warranted, and every weekend he puts out a thorough report covering worldwide markets, futures, commodities, and currencies with Fibonacci retracement levels, possible trading setups and zones, and stops and targets for all recommendations included. Larry applies the principles he's developed over decades of trading while analyzing a variety of markets for subscribers. To see for yourself the types of videos, charts, and analysis that Larry provides for his subscribers, sign up for Fibonacci 24/7 today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. You'll also gain instant access to Larry's archived subscriber webinar from earlier this year. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom